welcome to this week's Snow Show. Now, we've had some complaints from environmentally minded viewers who say that by burning logs, as we do here in the Snow Show, we are in fact contributing to the greenhouse effect, which will ironically help deplete the already dwindling world's snow cover. Well, of course, you're quite right. And so we've had all the log burning stoves converted. We now run them on whale oil. We get it from the Japanese. It hardly costs anything. What's on the show this week?
Well, Muriel, this week we go to the fashion capital of the ski world, Cortina d'Ampezzo. And in the chalet,
Aloha.
Life on the Edge with Tommy Tuttle. Ooh, and it's Star Wars time. And more from Grumpy George.
Well, that looks pretty interesting. But first, this.
If you're a man-hungry woman looking for a bit of sexy male musky action on skis, then you should think very seriously indeed about coming to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, because over 75% of the skiers here are men. Men who've come here to challenge their very manhood against this resort's fearsome reputation and tough terrain. Mind you, I wouldn't get too excited, girls, since most of them seem to be real estate salesmen from New Jersey with kiddo and holiday Stetsons and Wranglers with a crease up the front. And they're not interested in romance either. The only thing that excites them is a slope with a gradient of over 50 degrees. What we're talking here is serious male bonding. And like most male bonding, it's not a pretty sight.
Except for the gun, I basically dress like this most of the time, yeah.
I am a cowboy.
That's Jackson Hole.
Jackson Hole is a small cowboy town 6,000 feet up in the plains of Wyoming. And although pickup trucks have taken the place of horses, the basic cowboy mentality hasn't changed.
Modern-day cowboys, buckaroos. This is the Wild West, and that's what we're all about out here, is being wild. And it's amazing how much trouble we can get into up here. I think crazy is definitely the key word.
The resort prides itself on big macho ski runs, keeping very quiet indeed about the easy intermediate terrain in the mountain. And as if lager-fueled rumour wasn't enough, they even boast about their mountain on billboards.
Once upon a time, they used to call it the Gentle Giant, and that was a mere marketing ploy, in as much as trying to sell the place and tame the beast. But that was a total failure, and they realised they have nothing but to do but accept the fierceness that this mountain has to give skiers who want a good challenge.
Well,
Muriel.
And don't expect any sympathy from the lads if you don't pull it off. If he's a real man, he'll probably be having a few pints and laughing about it later.
You have to be an expert to come to the top of this mountain and ski it.
Well, not really. I kind of got down it in one piece and...
Yes, but you
I'm
probably...
not that great.
Yes, but you probably croaked down, you know. You didn't really bound down. You didn't go for it, you know.
And this is what brings all the beer-swilling, pickup truck-driving, testosterone-heavy men to Jackson Hole. It's Corbett's Couloir, 300 metres of 37-degree slope with a 30-foot head wall. When you take off from here, you're doing 50 miles per hour before your skis even touch the snow. Well, yee-haw, boys.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely dangerous. It's a brutal landing.
It looks pretty dangerous, pretty wild. If you wipe out, it looks like you're pretty dead. Some people say it's not so big now. When you look over, it looks a lot bigger.
Yep, they go in there a boy, they come out a man. Doug Coombs has paid his dues.
First stage is a visualization. You visualize what you're doing, and then you got that in your mind, and then you get a little close to the edge, you pole plant, and then you free fall, and then you got to crank a turn at about 40 or 50, whatever how fast it is. The consequences of falling would be a yard sale, which means you blow up, probably slide all the way down the bottom, leave your stuff everywhere. A lot of injuries have happened in here. I would say 20 or 30 a year.
But if you do have the bottle for it, you'll never have to buy another drink in Jackson. Most men see it as a coming of age, and you couldn't start a family without having done it at least once. And even having a yard sale is better than being a chicken.
Been down Corbett's Couloir?
Once by mistake.
Did you hurt yourself?
Yes. I won't do it again, let's put it that way.
I didn't totally blow out, but I didn't look red hot.
Some of them go down there and literally throw their body in there to say they've done it. And to me, they're not really skiing it. They're entering it and threatening their life. And the Black Diamonds, I may add, for the young skier of today, is like a magnet for them. It draws them. It pulls them in. Double Black Diamond, I have to do it. I have to show my manhood.
Part of the ritual is the signing of an insurance waiver. There's no going back now, even if you have second thoughts. So what's going to happen if you fall? I mean, what will that do for your reputation in the bar later?
Probably, you know, you probably won't go.
As long as the camera's not rolling, no one will know that we fell. So.
But you'll know, and that'll be a personal tragedy.
Yeah.
What's wrong with guys that you have to do that? I mean, do you take your pants down later or something?
Yeah, it's like just, that? You know, it's a male bonding.
It is a lot of a male bonding type of deal.
It's a penis thing.
A penis thing, yeah. And so, like, you would have a very small penis if you didn't go down to orbit.
Exactly.
OK, Callum, time to put your manhood where your mouth is. Do this one for Scotland. Oh, Callum, mine's a double.
Get easy, Antonio!
A gun will travel, reap the card of a man. A night without armor in a savage land. His fast gun for hire heeds the calling wind. A soldier of fortune is the man called
In fact, a lot of the terrain at Jackson Hole is easily within the ability of, well, even a woman. But then, of course, they'd be down in the plains cooking the beans and tending to the children, hearing about skiing secondhand from the big boys.
That's fun, and there's a lot of good skiers here, and I like that. You can ski with all the bros.
The bros?
The bros.
What exactly is a bro?
That's someone who you can relate to while you're skiing. Someone you're close to.
All right, silly me, sorry. Certainly not a cis then, but it is the 90s and things are beginning to change at Jackson Hole.
Women around the world, come to Jackson Hole. There's more men here than in any square mile of any town anywhere else in the world. And we'd love to see all the women out here of the world, you know. We're getting to be cosmopolitan.
Men in their skiing, dear, dear, the sweet little things. However, it is rather strange that there's a dearth of top lady skiers around. But here on the Snow Show, we're about to redress that sexual imbalance, because any moment now I'm expecting one of the world's greatest female skiers. That must be her now. It's Marie Helven, ladies and gentlemen. Marie, welcome to the Chalet of Hospitality. Put the ski. Now, I believe that you've skied for your country, Marie.
I sure have.
And what country is that again?
Hawaii.
Hawaii, yes, and so you were on the Hawaii national skiing team.
Absolutely.
And so what was that like?
Skiing for Hawaii?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. You know, we do it all year round. It's great fun. The sun's always shining, the weather's always good. It's fantastic.
So, what kind of outfits did you wear in the Hawaiian national team? I mean, were they functional, what?
We wore a lot of great things, you know, lots of cute bikinis, maybe shorts and crop tops, bright Hawaiian prints. Very colorful.
Is it a bit nicer than, say, the British ski team, which is just kind of, you know, blue?
Well, I think, you know, this is the reason why, you know, there's not that many women that want to ski. I mean, who wants to wear those tacky clothes? It's so ugly.
Yeah, what kind of things would you like to see them wearing then?
I don't know, kind of cute short shorts, really nice bikinis, and, you know, one-piece bathing suits and bright colors. I think then more women would ski.
But, I mean, would the men then have to wear, say, the one-piece bathing suits and so on? I mean, if...
Yeah, I think so. I think they'd look better, too. They really would.
So are you going to continue your competitive skiing, or have you dropped it?
Absolutely. I'll be going back this summer in August and competing in the national.
Is it downhill you specialise in, or slalom? You know,
no, I specialise in, you know, the barefoot style.
Barefoot style? So how do you keep the ski onto your foot if you've got no boots on?
Oh, no, there's this rubber band that you wrap around and you can do it. I mean, you know, it's only water after all.
Water?
Yeah. And so if you fall in, you get a little bit wet, it doesn't matter.
Oh, water skiing? So you don't do snow skiing?
Snow skiing? Are you kidding? I'm from Hawaii. Why would I be doing snow skiing?
Right. Well, let's have something else. We're going to learn then today?
Today, well, I think intermediate plateau. getting over that intermediate plateau is the goal today.
The intermediate plateau, is that where the restaurant is down there?
No, 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 it's where you and about 9/10 of other skiers seem to arrive. And it's a very nice little money-spinning plateau for us as well, you see.
Well, how will I know if I'm on the intermediate plateau?
Well, we'll soon find out. Yep, she's on it all right. OK for getting down most easy pistes, but anything more demanding, she's going to look like a giraffe falling down an escalator. Back to the drawing board. Most people end up in this rut for a great deal of the skiing time. And no matter how many times they go on holiday, or how many times they go to the Alps, or how many times they twizzle their way down a run, they still stay inside this intermediate plateau area.
So you just say that in practice is not going to make you any better?
No, not at all. You really have to do something about your basic technique. Mental attitude is so important. Right away you can see that I am more aggressive in the ski than Muriel. People forget that skiing is a physical sport and you really have to show commitment to improve. Be determined and prepared to look very closely at how you ski to make sure the basics are right. This run we're on here is a blue run, which becomes a slightly darker shade of blue as we go down. And the intermediate skier would handle the top part, but would have great difficulty here because their basic technique is crap.
So you're saying that if you think you're an advanced skier, but you don't enjoy black runs, you're probably still in this intermediate plateau?
Absolutely, you're probably still there. Although you might go to a ski school and get slotted into the top class, you're probably still an intermediate skier. Because when it comes to steeper terrain or difficult terrain, you don't enjoy it, you have a terrible time, and you only try it once or twice. If you want to enjoy slightly steeper runs like this, you're going to need to exercise your muscles, and not just your jaw and elbow ones talking about it in the boozer. You have to want to improve and be prepared to work at it.
You actually said to me that's a bit better. I don't believe my ears. So do you reckon then that I might be climbing up off that plateau soon?
Absolutely, I really don't see why not.
Oh, great.
I'll be the King of Scotland.
Time for more luscious correspondence from our viewers in the Snow Show mailbag. What's this? Well, this is from Multicorp Ski Limited. They're loaded. Dear Muriel, we are spending £3 million launching a new line of ski wear in the glamorous resort of Aspen later this year. We need someone with wit, glamour and style to launch our project on an all-expenses-paid month with, of course, a large fee. We would be very grateful if you, Muriel, could pass this letter on to your showbiz chum, Marie Helvin. We don't know where she lives. I don't know where she lives either. Dear Muriel, a winter wonderland, but a land of wonder where winter will land them. A savage landscape that time forgot, but hasn't forgotten that time savages us all. Yours sincerely, Alan Wicker. Dear Muriel, your David Vine lookalike correspondence, thank heavens for that. My granddad, who served in the First World War, recently passed away. I'm so sorry. I miss him very much, and on a visit to a clairvoyant, I was able to obtain a parapsychological message through the ether from the old fella. This was transferred onto special photographic paper, and I think you'll be as amazed at the results as I was when you look at the enclosed photographic proof. That's from a Mr. Derek McStay of Deptford. Mr. McStay, that is a chilling resemblance from beyond the grave. Back to the slopes.
Snowboarding has always had a bad reputation, with packs of guys in baggy clothes skidding around the hill like mongrels at a municipal dump. But everything has changed. Snowboarding has cleaned up its act, with stiff boots, hard bindings and carved turns that would put most skiers to shame.
It's changed a lot in the last few years, and the best riders now are probably, technically as proficient at their sport as the skiers are.
So for those of you who thought snowboarding was all about scraping and skidding your way downhill, chatting about thrash metal bands, get this.
First day lesson today, we're going to learn how to snowboard. We're going to learn a few basics like standing on our forward foot. We're going to learn how to lead with our front hand into the turns. And and we're going to learn how to balance on the edge. I came into snowboarding, it looked like fun, and I've snowboarded now a lot more than I ski. It's a lot different without poles. I like that. I like to be able to move my hands around any way I want. Good carving for speed and going fast and just laying out these big cars. There's nothing better. The first thing we're going to get into here is we're going to step the board down the hill here, and we're going to make one run where we're concentrating on keeping our weight over the front foot, on this front foot here, and keeping the front hand out over the board. Here we go. Lead with a hand and press the toe edge, and you can see the turn comes right around. Okay, lesson number 2. This time we're going to take it one step further and go from that toe side turn to the heel side. As we come through that toe side turn, we're going to want to flatten the board a little bit on the snow and shift that weight forward and gently move onto that heel side turn. So patience is the key in this maneuver. Okay, we start on our heel side edge. Our weight shifts forward, flatten to the toe edge. Once again, weight forward, flatten to the heel edge.
The major contribution to the growth of carving as opposed to skidding is the move from soft boots to hard boots.
This is a snowboard boot. A lot of people are going with ski boots now. This is a pretty stiff snowboard boot. The bottom isn't like a ski boot, it's a rubber tread for walking on. I like that, the hard shell boots, because there's a lot of power and on the edge, there's a lot of control, and you just have a little more leverage on that edge. You can really dig into the snow and hold a line. Okay, here we go. Got some beautiful pieced groomed here. Perfect for my vert and asymmetric carve. Later, dude. It's real exacting. I know some skis that you can get away with a lot of little mistakes. You know, you spread your feet apart and you're okay. You put your pole in and save yourself. But the snowboarding, you have to be right on top of it all the time or you smack. Okay, falling. The thing to remember about falling is to try and relax. Whoa! Sweet. So if you were to come down the hill and you're riding your board and you were to fall to your toe side edge, as you went down, you would want to keep your hands in a fist and you wouldn't want to catch yourself with your wrist. So as you fell, you'd want to come down and on your body. Gonna do a nice little rock and roll on here. Oh. You're probably gonna be a little sore at the end of the day, especially back here in your rear. A lot of people get sore wrists. The knees will be quite sore, so pad those areas up and you'll have a good day.
Now, isn't it strange and interesting how many top-quality executive cars have been named after faraway and exotic places? For instance, Marie?
The beautiful island of Capri.
The wonderful Ford Capri. And?
The fantastic Dolomite Mountains.
The Triumph Dolomite, practically indistinguishable from one another.
And Granada in España.
Granada, the executive chariot to Ford Granada. A quality car if ever there was one. But what has this got to do with skiing, you might ask yourself? Well, there's one ski-related place that has spawned this, the most famous of them all.
What is that? I've never seen that before.
You've never lived.
Many, many years ago, a highly stressed and overworked British car executive found himself in the Dolomites, looking down at a glittering jewel of a town packed with all the most chic, beautiful and cosmopolitan people in Europe, and he said to himself, it is the very essence of that town that sums up the spirit of our new four-door family saloon. And so it was born, the Ford Cortina.
Not in the Sierras and nowhere near Capri, Cortina was where the likes of Liz Taylor would tow her caravan back in the 60s when she still had her licence. In the winter, gorgeous Italian skiers come from Milan, Rome and Venice, and very occasionally they remember to bring their skis. But when they do, you'll have to be quick to see them using them.
We have to consider nobody will be on a ski run before 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. Then they will ski for a couple of hours, maximum, And at 1 o'clock, they are at a lunch, but really a big lunch, the Italian lunch, a couple of hours lunch, not just a sandwich.
So they only ski, what, 2 hours out of the day? It's not very much.
More than enough. You know, other people will ski starting 8 o'clock in the morning and until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's something for Italians working. It's not holiday.
How on earth did you manage to breed Tomba if he only skis 2 hours a day and has a huge lunch?
Look, Tomba is famous because he's not the real sportsman. He's enjoying himself, he's going to a discotheque, and then he's winning. That's why he's the #1.
Oh, perhaps I should get Jockey Wilson to try for the British team. But for those that can be bothered to make a couple of turns, typical Dolomite skiing is short, wide, easy runs against fabulous mountains. But then again, why bother?
Now, the runs in the Dolomites might not be able to compete with some of their alpine rivals in terms of length or variety, but then this suits the Italians fine. Hardly any work to do and a fantastic backdrop for a very expensive ski suit.
CNAs don't do too well in Cortina, although some people look like extras from a groovy 70s ski film starring Elliot Gould and Walter Matthau. You look very glamorous for a skier. Have you been skiing?
Yeah.
Really?
From 9 to 11:30, no more.
I mean, what happens if you fall over and you've all this lovely jewellery on?
I buy other.
Well, with all this money around, thieves would have a fiesta in Cortina, so most people have escorts.
Are you interested in cars, Lorenzo?
Yes, yes.
Have you ever heard of the Ford Cortina?
What do you mean?
The very, very famous Ford Cortina.
Ford Cortina. The car.
Well, what happens after lunch then? You've had this 3-hour lunch. Where do you go next?
Home, and then for shopping.
Oh, what a punishing schedule it's been today. Had a bit of a sleep, a bit of a ski, bit of lunch, and now it's time to do a bit of shopping. Because this is what's known in Cortina as the passeggiata, when everybody comes out in force to do some shopping and show off something, which I think some of you are going to find rather offensive, because there are no furry dice in this Cortina, but there are a lot of diced furries.
After falling in love with Cortina, this is like finding out your favourite uncle is a serial killer, because in Italy, women still think real fur is fashionable.
All the women have fur coats on. Is this important in Cortina?
Ultra, importantissimo. And don't women in Italy think that this is a bit cruel?
Sì, certo, certo, dispiace per gli animali, però poi la vanità prevale e anche il desiderio di proteggersi dal freddo.
Is there no anti-fur feeling in Italy? Why do people in Italy not think it's cruel to kill animals? Because in Britain it's very, very unfashionable.
Oh, yes, right, but the movement depends on the idea of the persons, because really every day you eat a lot of animals and it's the same.
No, kids, she's right. All the restaurants in Cortina have mink, sable and Arctic fox in the menu. What seems chic and delightfully old-fashioned about Cortina turns around and bites you on the ankle at night. It's the distasteful side of a beautiful old ski resort that still gives you a flavour of what skiing used to be like.
See, the Italians just can't help being stylish, whereas us British abroad don't seem to have that certain je ne sais quoi. Well, why not? Well, to tell us why not, on the Celebrity Barrel outside the chalet is Hamish Bowles, Director of Style at Harper's and Queen. Hamish, how can we look so bad?
Well, I don't, you know, something goes horrifically wrong on the ski slopes. I mean, I think even people who are quite scrupulous about the way they dress, you know, at home and for functions, just turn into these sort of Brian nylon monsters.
How would you sum up your look then?
My look? Gormless, really, eh? Well, I just figured there's a lot of white out there, and so you need some color.
I like the colors, pink, wild colors. They match my skis, so.
High fashion designers aren't really kind of involved in ski clothing in the way that they used to be. I mean, all through the 20s and 30s, designers like Patou and Chanel actually included kind of ski clothes within their collections. So things were designed with a real fashion aesthetic.
You've picked out 2 examples of things, and this is... Now, what's wrong with it? I've seen lots of people in that sort of suit, and it seems perfectly acceptable.
Well, I'm sure it's practical, but I mean, it's just an affront to the eyes, really, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's a fast-moving sport. I mean, you should form, not follow function. Does this not become beautiful just because it works?
Well, it protects you from everything, including the charge of having the remotest idea about fashion.
You're a cruel, hard man, Hamish.
Well, I don't think so.
What about this? This is your example of something that's acceptable.
Well, this, I think, is a more positive fashion direction for ski wear to go in. I mean, this was from Ralph Lauren's new ski wear collection, and he's kind of taken, you know, he did a military theme for his ready-to-wear, and he's developed it into his ski line.
He has. He's made a bit of an effort there.
He has made a great effort here.
A bit like a Chelsea pensioner, though, don't you think?
Yeah.
You like that?
I quite like that, yeah.
Well, what about your own ski wear? I mean, this is obviously something that you've thought about a great deal. Perhaps you'd like to talk us through it.
Well, this is my rather triste homage to Audrey Hepburn in that movie Charade. She had Hubert de Givenchy create this sort of sealskin creation, which I couldn't really run to, in these ecological times. So I've gone for the Catherine Hamnet option.
You are the living embodiment of Audrey Hepburn, actually, in that. I can hardly tell you apart. Well, Dr. Derek's managed to fit me into his busy schedule. What's in the prescription this week?
Well, Alpinists, today we're going to talk about the knee.
Now, what can we say about the knee?
Well, the knee is possibly the most important joint when it comes to skiing, Muriel.
It is somewhat disquieting to appreciate that there are no actual bone-to-bone attachments in the knee joint. Rather, the joint is held together entirely by soft tissues. Under severe stress, these tissues can rupture, leading to complete dislocation of the knee. Remember, man was never meant to ski.
What happens with the knee is, if you can imagine a knee joint here, okay? Now, as you can see, this joint works like a hinge joint. It works in one plane only, all right? But when we're skiing, or perhaps when you're skiing, we try to make this knee joint do all sorts of things it wasn't meant to do. We try and turn the whole thing like some kind of ball and socket joint. Well, it isn't a ball and socket joint.
No, indeed.
Not only that, but when you crash, Muriel, you have all this weight of your whole body coming down through here, and you can induce a violent twisting motion, and you can just snap all sorts of tendons and ligaments inside this knee joint.
The most common serious skiing injury to the knee is a tear of the anterior cruciate ligament. This is one of the small straps in the center of the joint which prevents the thigh from overriding the lower leg. Such a tear frequently requires surgery and almost always requires a long, if not total, abstinence from the sport.
Well, obviously, good technique at skiing then can avoid a knee injury.
Nope.
No?
Absolutely not. In fact, kids, when you get radical, we get medical.
Well, that's all from this week's Snow Show. Next week we travel to Sol in Austria, a favourite British ski destination, and we go snowboarding in Mammoth, California.
And we're going to be water skiing across some of the most beautiful lagoons in Hawaii.
No, we won't be doing that. In fact, there's no we about it. You won't be on. You're a guest this week. We won't be. Sorry, viewers. We're going nowhere near Hawaii. Sorry.
Well, can I at least sing my Hawaiian song?
Well, don't see why not. Ladies and gentlemen, Marie Helvin's going to sing. Enjoy.
Oh, we're going on a ski run on the island of Oahu and Kauai.